Hi everyone, so I promised 3 videos in my last vlog. If you haven't seen that already, check it out. It was vlog number 18. I talked about 3 videos that I'm going to do leading up to the GB Ultras 100 miles training series that I'm going to talk about, but today's all about tapering. So tapering is something endurance athletes always should be doing leading up to events. So what they basically do is we reduce the amount of exercise that we're doing, maybe 2 to 3 weeks out before an event. And the idea of it is when we come to race day, we can hit optimal performance. So how do we do it? So basically for me, I like to do 2 weeks before an event. I just find 2 weeks before is the sweet spot for me. Everyone's gonna be slightly different. Some people like to do 3 or 4 weeks of tapering beforehand. Some people like to just do 1 week. Most of the clients that I train, I always encourage the 2 weeks. I just find it just seems to be the sweet spot for a lot of people where you've got enough time to recover, not losing any fitness at all, ready for race day. So basically how I do it is, remember on my training blocks, if you haven't seen it already, I always do 4 weeks. So there's 3 weeks of training, that's goal setting, and I have that 1 recovery week. I basically start with a recovery week. So 2 weeks before, the first week of tapering is recovery. And how I do that is I reduce the amount of intensity I'm doing by 50%. No long runs, all little short runs, no speed work whatsoever. Just enjoyment runs, that I call them. And then the week leading up to the event, I go on feeling. So I know for me personally, I like to add in maybe 2 runs in that week. If the race was on Saturday, I probably wouldn't run after Wednesday, so that gives me Thursday and Friday completely recovered leading for race day. And then the Monday and the Wednesday, I might do like a 2-3 mile run if I was doing a 50 miler. I go on complete feel. If I don't feel like running, I won't run on that week. If I feel like I want to add a 3rd run in, as in the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'll do that. I've just got to make sure that I'm not going out hard on those runs. They are more like just getting your legs ticking over more than anything else. So the next thing to talk about is in tapering. Now we know we're going to reduce the exercise leading up to that event is nutrition. So there's a lot of things that you can do and you'll see about, and you probably know a lot already, is how to add in different nutritional tips to help you with your race day. So you've probably heard of things like carb loading, for example. Now me personally, I find that if most runners, ultra runners, are calorie deficit. So that we go on our training, we're really not eating enough calories to support our training. A lot of people, a lot of my clients are like that. And you need to be making sure you're hitting that. And if you're hitting that sweet spot on the calories that you're meant to be having on your training, I pretty much keep that the same all the way through taper weeks. And the reason why that is I don't necessarily need to carb load them, because say for example I'm having 3,000 calories in my training. I'm obviously trying to run maybe that 50 to 80 miles per week. I'm obviously burning a lot of calories at that point. If I reduce the amount of exercise I'm doing, because that's how you do your taper, and I'm eating the same, then my body's now got enough calories to go, okay, I've got enough to do my recovery, I've got enough to keep this body going, and I've got enough to store to keep my recovery. If I then start carb loading and upping my calories a bit more, or making my diet very carbohydrate dense, for example, I just think maybe I should have been doing that in my training. So I pretty much keep everything the same. My body's been training with that nutrition, it's got used to certain types of food. Why chuck in another mix of it and make it all a mess anyway, which probably ends up messing you up on race day? So me personally, keep everything the same. The only thing I probably would do in that tapering is maybe the day before the event, especially on that last meal, I might look at what I'm eating. So I might become very carbohydrate on that one. Wouldn't change anything else in that week. Next one is like hydration. Another people go into, again, you should be fully hydrated anyway in your training, and that shouldn't change. A lot of people get into this bit of a problem is when you're exercising, you drink more water. It just seems to be a very natural thing to do. Obviously now you reduce your exercise, sometimes that water stops with you as well, and you want to make sure you keep the volume of water you have on a weekly basis, on a daily basis, doesn't change. Just keep it. And you remember, you've got the urine test. You know, when you're looking at the colour of your urine, if it's clear, you're hydrated. If it starts to go brown colour, you know you're a little bit dehydrated. And there's lots of charts out there on the internet that you can look at to make sure. I know it's a bit of a weird topic to talk about urine on a YouTube channel, but it's the best way to see how hydrated you are. So that should stay the same. So like I said, just to summarise on that point is, I keep mine exactly the same. I don't change anything. Last meal before the race day, yes, I might be a bit more carbohydrate orientated. Hydration stays the same. So things to probably watch out for in tapering and something on the race day is, sometimes you get something called ghost niggles. So you've gone into taper, you reduced your intensity, you reduced your exercise, and all of a sudden you start getting pains in your knees and your hips, or some other wonderful thing starts happening. I don't worry about them. They happen. I don't know why they happen. Sometimes I just think my body's going to a bit of a deep recovery, and maybe there was something deep in there and it's attacking it and it's healing it. But if you start to get them, don't panic about it. Some people feel like they're going to lose fitness leading up to it because they've reduced their intensity. You're not. Promise you. If I said to you, you hadn't done any training at all, and said, right, okay, you've got a big run this Saturday in 2 weeks, off you go, you know in your head that you're not going to get fit enough ready for that event. Same thing, you're not going to lose anything. So get out of your system straight away. You will not lose fitness on the day or leading up to it. Weight gain, yeah, you might gain 2 to 4 pounds leading up to a race, maybe a bit more. That's fine, don't worry about it. Obviously your body's then doing a lot of different things now because you've reduced the amount of exercise. There's a lot of storing going there from your fuel, but you're also I see you're reducing your exercise, so that calorie is going to be higher and your body's got more of it. So let it go on, don't panic about it. You'll lose it on an ultra anyway. Also, what sometimes can happen is on race day, you start off the start line and all of a sudden you feel awful, legs are feeling really heavy and you feel quite lethargic. That's perfectly normal, don't worry about it. I think one of the reasons why is because your body's so full of fuel and it's sort of calmed down a little bit. It's hard to get you going again, but I promise you, maybe 2-3 miles into that race, you'll start to feel really, really good, and you'll have one of the best runs you've ever had. So yeah, trust it. You will feel heavy a little bit on the legs when you first start, but that will be better. It's better than doing it that way than feeling really, really good off the start line, because I can guarantee you'll hit the wall really, real quick. So expect to feel a little bit heavy on race day. So just to quickly summarise what I've said there. So tapering, we reduced maybe 2 weeks before an event. Some people do 3. 50% on the first week for me. 1 or 2 runs leading up to it. If the race is on Saturday, I don't run after Wednesday. I keep my nutrition exactly the same. I don't change it. I might change my last meal, that's the only thing. Hydration should be good anyway, so I wouldn't worry about it. Expect little ghost niggles, expect to feel a little bit heavy off the start line, expect a little bit of weight gain, but I promise you'll have the best race you've ever had if you taper correctly.